Black, brown, and HBCU bound. Your source for news you can use. Let's shine a light on the 207 HBCUs where culture meets excellence.
Hello, everyone. It is Yvonne Daniels, the host of the Black, Brown, and HBCU Bound Podcast, also the creator of the Black, Brown, and HBCU Facebook group. I am here to tell you that after a while of taking off from doing some of this podcasting, I'm back. And I figured what better time to come back better than the beginning of Black History Month, which is, we all know, is now February. There's a lot of new beginnings going on. Recently, a lot of things have happened since we've last come to you. But most recently in the news, we heard about the ousting of Kevin James, the president of Morris Brown College, which is near and dear to my heart, only because I had the opportunity to meet with him on our last visit on behalf of Black, Brown, and HBCU Bound so that we can bring firsthand and real-time knowledge to you guys in terms of what we see when we're out in the field trying to gather information to be able to share with you. In any case, I did have the opportunity to meet with Mr. Kevin James, also with some of the students there at the college, and saw that it was a warm environment where he was doing a lot to bring to that institution. And it was sad for me to see that he was let go. But after so much outrage, thankfully that wrong was righted. A week later, he was brought back. So don't ever say your voice is not heard or that you can't affect change by expressing your sentiments, even, especially if you stand behind what's something that you believe is true to be an incorrect injustice or something of that nature. So we can see that there is power in numbers, and when you make your voice heard, change happens. So kudos to them for bringing him back, and congratulations for him to be back, to be able to affect the type of change that he's been doing while his time bringing them back to being accredited and all the other interesting programs that he discussed with us in terms of what he wanted to do, and some of the students too, in terms of the programs available to students who may be non-traditional students needing to return back to their education, and that school being a haven for that type of environment that would invite those types of students. So we like to say kudos to them for bringing him back, and I'd love to be able to see them doing fabulous things at that institution, not above any other institution. And you know that because of my children, I'm partial to Morehouse and Howard, but I do believe that out of the schools that are available, I like to tell people in the workshops that we do, there is an HBCU for you, no matter what type of student you are. If you're college eligible, there is a program for you, and there's a pathway for you to pay for college. And we like to say through scholarships. I'm sure you guys know, if you've seen any of our other videos, we are the scholarship scouts. We're the scholarship gurus. We like to see people pay for school without having to graduate under a mountain of debt. So again, talking about new beginnings, us coming back, Kevin James being reinstated. I'd like to just reach out to the people who are getting their acceptances for colleges. Congratulations to you guys. I'm not as visible in the group, but I can tell you that my eyes are always on the Black, Brown, and HBCU Bound Facebook group, getting a pulse of the group, knowing what's going on, keeping my eye on making sure that it's a healthy space for our families, because as you know, we don't allow anyone to come in and sell or promote things that are, anti to what we are trying to promote in the group, which is it being a nice, healthy space for people who are navigating their way through high school, heading off to an HBCU. Not saying that people who are not going to HBCUs can't benefit from the Facebook group. We just like to keep the topics related to HBCUs. We understand that not every student will end up in taking that path, because students apply to a multitude of schools, and some for whatever reason don't end up in HBCU. But when you want to know information regarding HBCUs and the programs that they have, I can tell you that this is a healthy group where you will find parents always ready to jump in and tell you what their experiences were or are, or you may be able to help a parent who's looking for some information they just can't get at the time that they're looking for it. The schools may be closed. They may have difficulty reaching the school and getting an immediate callback. So I can tell you that I'm most proud of the fact that the group is there for parents in that way. Just another note on why the group was started. I did not attend an HBCU. I went to a local PWI in my area. And while helping my students navigate that application process and the whole matriculation process, I thought when they graduated, there's got to be a better way. And, that's how the Black, Brown, and HBCU Bound initiative was formed. It is powered by a nonprofit organization that I'm the executive director of, Practical Knowledge, where we help students find their way through paying for college, through doing workshops, whether online or in person, teaching students or providing students with tools on how to help them better prepare themselves to get more favorable results when applying to scholarships. As you guys know, if you remember my story, I'll tell you again, I'm proud of that story. I helped my students through a position where they graduated those schools without having to take on any debt, thankfully. And that those are not the only two. I have a set of twins who are much older who also went to school. They didn't go to PWIs, but they also did not have to have any student loans or take on any student loan debt. So that is my claim to fame. And I'd like to have a hand in helping other people have that same type of joy. There's nothing better than to graduate college and start your adult life without having to wonder how you're going to start carving out a way in this world without having to look back and seeing that you owe 20, 30, 40, even $50,000 worth of student loan debts. And it could be more depending on the school that you go to. So that is where we stand. That is who we are. And that is why we have this Facebook group. And we're going to try to continue being more consistent with the podcast because we like to focus the podcast on helping people through this path, depending on where they are. Hopefully, after we amass a library full of episodes, you can, skim through the catalog, if you will, and see what resonates with you, what you might be needing, help with at that particular time. We also look to interview professionals in the field who may be helpful. So we'd like to be able to resume with that as well. But I did want to come on and let you guys know that although we've been gone for a while, we do plan to be more consistent. We've been working on some things behind the scenes. I can't really talk about those right now because they're not really at a point where they are ready to be rolled out. But we do want to be able to do something to help the community a little bit, more than we've been helping. And I'd like to be able to let you know that you can look forward to some things being rolled out in the upcoming months to the end of 2026. So I would love to know what you guys think of the Facebook group. I would love to know that you guys are subscribing to the podcast. I'd like to know also that you would share us with your network. Let others know that we exist, especially the group, because the group, if you've already been a part of that group, you know that the group is pretty much fantastic. And I can't take credit for that. I created it because I thought that I needed it. I would like to have seen it in my time, but I created it. But the group is really a self-sustaining group that is an ecosystem that runs itself. A person asks a question, and before you know it, 40 people are jumping in there to give them their opinion, give them their path and how they navigated or tackled a particular situation. So let other people know that we're out there. Don't be stingy. Share the resource. You know what I mean? Let other people know. Those of you who are getting your acceptances and you don't quite know how you're going to pay for college, I see a lot of that going on in a group right now, and that's typical because this is the time when people start realizing, oh boy, this is a little bit different than I thought it was going to be. Or maybe I didn't save quite as much as I thought I needed to get my kids through the next 4 years. This is typical. A lot of people do have it all figured out, but many more people don't. So don't feel alone in this process. Do not feel like you are, you've failed your child at all. There may have to be some readjustments of expectations. But I'm here to tell you that there's still many more scholarships out there. Don't ever stop looking. Thumb through if you're new to the group, thumb through the group. There have been scholarship announcements, all through the last 3 years. And I wouldn't say just look at the ones that are now. Look back, go back, look and see, chart down some stuff. If it's expired last year, chances are they're giving it again this year. Maybe you just didn't get that posting. Don't give up, talk with your student, your schools, your student school, or encourage your student to talk with their grade advisor. Look everywhere you can. But most of all, look through this group. There are lots of tips on how to find funding to fund your students' education. But this is the time when you're going to be making some tough decisions in terms of where your student will go. They may have been accepted to a school that's $50,000 uh, a year, and that's just not realistic for you and your family's budget. A lot of people will tell you to go where the money resides. I get that. You got to make some intelligent decisions. It's great to be able to say you graduated from this school, that school, but it's nothing like looking at $150,000 in student loan debt. I couldn't even imagine. I couldn't imagine, and I don't recommend it. Being able to attend these prestigious institutions is one thing, but when you come home and you can't start your life properly because the job that you got as an entry level whatever may not be what covers what it is that you borrowed, and you're able to comfortably pay back while having a decent, entry level life with an entry level job, is just it's a crime. To me, it's not advisable. I know some people will do it. Hopefully, you can get there and find a way to pay for it, but don't go in there thinking, okay, I got this little bit of money and we're just going to do it on a wing and a prayer, because there's a lot of disappointment when that happens. A lot of times students will start their career at a school and because the expectations were that they were going to figure it out and they couldn't figure it out, and they end up having to go home and go to a local school. And a word to the wise, a lot of times the local school in your area, that maybe wherever you end up, it's very likely that the credits, it'll be difficult for you to transfer the credits. The credits may not match up the way you want them to. So it will be a tremendous loss. So consider these things. I'm not trying to scare anyone, because I want everyone to go to an HBCU. I wished I could have gone to school right along with my daughter. I wish I could have been her roommate, because there's nothing like that experience. And I had to live that experience through her. I would recommend everyone take advantage of that. But do not go and live beyond your means, even if you were accepted into these schools that are not giving away a lot of money. I said that. I will never stop saying it. They are not awarding these students with the monies that you think they are. They don't have to. And a lot of times they don't have it. But you cannot dig yourself into debt that you can't comfortably climb out of just to say that you attended a school because it has a fancy name. I just wouldn't recommend it. I'm not going to harp on that. I am going to end here. But like I say in my other episodes, please like, subscribe, and share. We'd love it if you did that. We'd like to expand our reach and extend our impact on students who are looking for a healthy and stress-free resource. So tell a friend, and hopefully we'll be here to meet with you again with some information that might be helpful to you and your family. Thank you for listening and listening all the way through. And please share, like, and subscribe. Have a wonderful day, and we'll see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.
Black, brown, and HBCU bound. Your source for news you can use. Let's shine a light on the 207 HBCUs, where culture meets excellence.